If she had only been ugly, we would still be two.
Dom Irrera, live from the Laugh Factory. How are you? Good to see you. Look good. Got Joey Diaz here today. I'm thrilled to have him. I love this guy. We've known each other a long time, and Joey, one of the funniest people I've ever met on and off the court. Sometimes funnier when he's serious than when he's funny, but always funny. Joe, where we meet at the Comedy Store?
How are you, buddy? At the Comedy Store. But it's funny because when I first got into comedy, the first tape I rented was Rodney's tape.
Yeah.
And Little Louie and all that stuff. I remember watching
Bag of Donuts.
Bag of Donuts. I watched it and cried.
Really?
Because it was my life you were doing.
Yeah,
These
yeah.
are the fucking cats I grew up with. And I'm like,
Right.
this motherfucker, how did he know?
Somebody just reminded me of a line from that I forgot about. You could tear the guy's arm off.
Right, brilliant.
What was the line?
You said you could tear it off, but he'll still come back the next day.
That was my favorite
That
arm.
was my favorite
I used to
arm.
hug my girlfriend with that
Right,
arm.
yeah. Somebody, and it was just, and then to go to the Comedy Store and to see you walk in there, it was like goosebumps. And then one time, I guess in Miami or Fort Lauderdale, they advertised wrong. Do you remember we had this conversation? You were at Fort Lauderdale or something, but they advertised you in Miami by mistake. So I got a bunch of Italians that came down. They're like,
they came down.
What the fuck is this? Where's Dom Irrera? And I remember
I remember working with you there.
Right, I remember
We worked
working
at
out with
Improv.
Ricky Cruz, me and you one night. But it's great, man. It's great to know you, and it's just to watch you and to learn from you.
Well, let me throw to the present, Joe. I'm sorry to interrupt. We went in. I was at Joe Rogan's podcast, and Joey was original Death Squad member. I'm a new kid on the block, but thrilled to be one of them. And Joe Rogan on his podcast played a reaction when Joey Diaz was that in New York.
New York
was introduced to the crowd, and it was like an ovation that you would have thought, it was like the Beatles reunited. It was so unbelievable, and we were, as the Jews say, we're felling seeing that. Wasn't that a cool moment? And that's what I want to talk to you about today. Like, what led up to that moment today? What you've been through, and some of the good things and bad things, and just part of it. Like how our life. Like who knows when you're gonna make it? What considered making it? You know what I mean? But you got to be happy now.
You know what, Dom? If you know anything about me, I was happy just walking around out here.
Well, then
I'm one of those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But I knew where I came from. I knew where I could be, and just to have the honor to get spots at the Comedy Store and at the Improv,
Right.
I was good. If I died right there, I did my end. Everything else has been a cherry, a movie. I went to a party and some girl said to me, "Excuse me, did you also do the Raging Bull like everybody else in this town?"
Raging Bull 1 or
Two.
2.
And I go, "Yeah, I did the Raging Bull shit," and she made me feel bad.
Right,
She goes,
right.
"Everybody did it."
Yeah, well, yeah.
Everybody was in it
Sure,
because
every
everybody's
waiter
out of
and
work.
waitress in town did
Yeah,
it.
I know.
The
And
singing waiters at Michelle's.
Right. Oh,
they all
yeah,
did
everybody
it.
did it. She goes, "So don't worry about it." And I came home, and I didn't even look at the roster, and I seen you were on it. And I go, "That's amazing that after all these years, we still swing."
Oh, yeah.
People think you're dead. You're never dead in
No.
this fucking business.
And we're going to go to the party, and
Yeah.
we'll go to the premiere. It'll be a blast.
It'll be a blast.
I'm just glad they changed the fucking
Yeah,
name.
finally. And nice people.
Yeah.
Very nice people. But Dom, to me, success was waking up in the morning and going to do a spot at the store.
Yeah.
That was how happy
that's
I
good.
was
You
with
appreciate
my
it,
life.
man.
2 years ago, I moved up to North Hollywood, and I seen a car dealership. I didn't want to travel no more. I just, Tom, what I want to travel for? I'll do 2 or 3 movies a year. I'll keep my insurance up. I'll do spots. And maybe once in a while I'll go to Vegas with Joe. And I went and I filled out an application at a car dealer. And I peed in the bottle. The guy goes, "I can't hide you. You got THC. But get a kid to piss you and you come back in 30 days. And in those 30 days, Joe called me, and I went to Irvine with him. And it was 4th
And
of
you
July
smoked pot
weekend.
there.
Yeah, I smoked pot there. It was 4th of July weekend, Dom. There was no Kevin and Bean. There's no Lycus. There's no nobody. And this motherfucker sold out 6 shows. And I said
Joe's
to him,
Joe's very hot.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I said to him, "How did you sell out to 6 shows?" And he goes, "All with Facebook." At the time, Twitter was just starting. Facebook really had the world by the balls.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting there going, "You know what? I'm going to start fucking around on Facebook."
Well, Dane did it on MySpace,
On
right?
MySpace.
So Dane was the original
The
guy
original.
to know how to work that.
Rogan took it a different level. Dane went home at night and answered emails and really stayed with people.
Yeah.
Facebook lets people see you interact,
Right.
which was even better now. And now Twitter sees everything.
Yeah.
So it was just really weird. And I started going home in the mornings and I started looking at what comics were doing. And comics, everybody's giving away free fucking tickets. Everybody's putting a show on. Dom Irrera, like, Dom, you have nothing else to tell me? Or you get the comics that tell you when they're going to take a shit, when they're going to go eat, when they're going to do this. So
sometimes I eat toast in the morning.
Toast,
Sometimes I don't have
right.
toast.
So there had to be a middle ground. I said, there's got to be something in the middle. So I started waking up. I got up at 5 anyway. I get up at 5. I feed the cat. I eat. I
Watch Mike and Mike.
I watch Mike and Mike. I do a bunch of shit early. So I started twitting songs and just making a saying up. Wash your pussy. It's going to be a hot day today. Whatever. And the next thing you know, it just snowballed and snowballed. And then I start going, who thinks that you go on stage and you tell stupid fucking jokes? Or for me, there were stupid fucking jokes. And people took a ride with you sometimes and they didn't. But I go on a podcast with Felicia Michaels or Joe, and I tell stories about breaking in a chick's house when I ate a Quaalude and ate her pussy. I tell stories about mugging a hooker and lighting her wig on fire in 42nd Street, which all happened when I was 18. That was my life. That's why I'm happy to be walking around.
Right.
So
you kind of pushed close to death at times.
I told the truth.
Were you in jail, Joe?
Oh, yeah.
For what?
Yeah. Kidnap, an aggravated robbery, accessory to
Who'd
a
you
felon,
kidnap?
a drug dealer in Boulder, Colorado,
Really?
machine gun in the trunk of a car.
Holy shit!
Tom, I'm Cuban.
I thought I was bad for flagrantly fouling somebody in a pickup game.
No, I'm a Cuban with a Jewish Italian cop dog. I came from Cuba, moved to New York
You
City.
lived in Cuba?
Yeah, I grew up
know
in
that.
Cuba,
You have
born in
no
Cuba, got a
accent.
sister there, and everything. And then,
Why do you have no accent? My friend
because-
Julio left there when he was 3, and he still has an accent.
Because I moved in the '60s. In '66, and they put me in a place called Northern New Jersey.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah, where either you have an accent and you fight every day, or you lose the accent and you fit right
And
the
you
fuck
fight
in.
every day, too.
So they put me in a neighborhood with Irish and Italian kids. And that's what a lot of people don't know about me. When I was 15, my mother died and the Italians took me in. Not these fucking Wonder Bread motherfuckers you see out here. The real motherfuckers I grew up with, that they fed me pasta fazool and braciole. I remember being a kid and knowing that if I knocked at the Italians' houses, even if the kids weren't home, they'd still feed me.
Yeah.
And I would go
It's a
to
different culture.
Oh
that
my
way.
God, I
Yeah.
go to Mr.
Well,
Bender's
Cubans are
house.
like that, though.
Oh my God, I never forget. I had no curfew, and there were some Italians that had no curfew, but one particular family, the Benders, and I would go to his house and knock, knowing John wasn't there, Don. Knowing he wasn't there, I just left him at a
I
party.
really don't care where John is.
I didn't
I'm
care
hungry.
what John. I knock on the door, Mr. Bender would go, Coach, he's not home. And then after a minute, he'd look around and go, you hungry? Come on in. Let me, Anna! And then Anna, get up. Coco's here, man. I don't want it for you. Make him a sandwich. It was amazing. It was fucking amazing. It was another culture. I'd never seen it. I would knock over there whenever I was bored. Just sit with Mr. Bender. He'd tell me stories of the old country, make me drink wine. So when my parents passed, I could either go to Miami, Los Angeles with my uncle, who I'm going to see a Dodger game with tonight. But this guy came to me and he goes, it would break my heart if you would leave my neighborhood. You're a good fucking kid.
Yeah.
You come to my house, you swim at the pool. He taught me how to go to the track and how to cash in tickets. And he had 3 boys of his own. But he loved the Cuban. He loved me, man. And it was he had the Uncle Vito and Dennis and the whole fucking family tree. And I used to steal motorcycles with his kids. And his kid wasn't allowed to keep the motorcycle over there. So the deal we cut was I was allowed to go to his house and eat on Wednesdays if he could keep the motorcycle at my house. When I first tasted Italian food, Dom Irrera, my head fucking blew up.
Yeah, it's
and
good.
he would say to me, don't eat that shit.
Nobody says I hate Italian.
He
I don't
would
want
say to me,
that.
Don, listen, I would eat so much Italian food that the 3 boys would sit there and go, I don't know why you eat my mother's cooking. She makes those meatballs with her fucking feet. And I would go, I don't give a fuck. But they would say to me, you eat so much Italian food, but it's so weird.
Yeah, but I always found the Cuban culture to be very family oriented.
Very family.
I got my friend Julio, Dom Irrera. He goes, the man who makes America laugh, brother. Come over here. There's a steak with your name on it. They're always
nice
like
thin
that.
steak with white rice and black beans, a couple fried bananas.
See, I like it thin. I like it pounded.
Me too. I like it thin, pounded palomilla.
I like veal cutlet that you can see through.
Oh, nice thin
Delicious.
veal cutlet. Yeah, delicious.
Making me hungry, Joe.
Oh, please, we're gonna have to go eat after this. There's nowhere to go eat like that. But that was, and then I got locked up. I thought I was a gangster, and I got locked up in Colorado. And
Now I see why you're so appreciative of the.
Yeah,
It's amazing how relative everything is, huh?
it's it was really, you know, and my best friend died when I was a sophomore, the Sicilian, the real kid that really, and till this day I talk to the sister, and the mother comes see me do stand-up.
Oh, does she?
The mother comes out.
They're in New Jersey?
They're in New Jersey.
Where
They're
at?
still,
What
they're in like Vineland now. They moved out of the area. The kid drowned. So they're heartbroken. They were
sucks.
Sicilians. And the sister still keeps in touch with me. The brother he went crazy.
And what's the closest club you do to there? Because
In
there's a
Jersey-
theater in Vineland, you know.
In Jersey, I don't do nothing. If I tell you something, Dom, you might think I'm crazy. I hate going home to do comedy.
Really?
They drive me crazy.
I love the Stress Factory, though.
I love the stress factor and all that, but my friends do not know how to fucking act.
Oh.
Do you understand me?
Yeah, yeah.
Last time I did a show, they heckled me.
Oh, jeez.
My own fucking friends heckled me.
We're trying to help you out.
Yeah, we're trying to help you out. And then at the end of the night, there was a fist fight, and my other friend takes out a piece at the fucking club in the city. This is February.
You got a rough group,
Yeah,
though.
so you know what? I don't even like performing. There's a handful. I go back and I invite them over. I'll put them on a guest list, and I won't say nothing. Like I just did when we did New York with Rogan.
Right.
I had a guest list of 8 people like I grew up with, and I invited them over.
That was a theater, too.
That was a huge
It's harder to
fucking
get in a
theater.
fight in a theater.
Yeah, but these people, my friends, are just crazy. There's too many. It's 8 grammar schools. This is a group 4 school. You know, that means we played against black kids from down the shore. You know, everybody's going crazy over this Frankie Edgar kid, this fighter. He's from down South Jersey. People don't know that those kids have been fighting since day one.
Right.
Because in the summers, all the fucking Guidos come down from up north, and these kids got to fight for their life down the shore. I know this.
It's a nice,
going in.
pleasant day at the beach.
Oh, please. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Fuck you. Fuck you.
Fuck
and have
me.
you seen the beaches now? When we were kids growing up in South Jersey and Philadelphia, you had room on the beach. Have you seen a beach in Jersey now on a Sunday?
Well, no, but you got to see Wildwood because you got too much room.
You got
It's like
really?
it's like the fucking Sahara Desert. You got there's like water stops on the way to the water. I swear to God, they have to drive the old people in carts because they can't make it. But the bad thing is, if you got to take a dump, you're done. You know, I mean, you can't have like a spasm because you're fucking done. Your pants, boom. You know, it's like that. All the sands wash down from North Jersey and from Avalon and all these are towns that I'm more familiar with because I'm from Philly. Because since you're from up near New York, you would go to what like
Seaside, Belmont,
Asbury
Manasquan.
and all that?
No, fuck Asbury. That's
No.
scary there. But I used to go to Wildwood, and what's the other one down there? It's very, you know, they thought they were Beverly Hills.
Oh, that's a Stone Point.
Stone Point or
Stone,
something. You know.
Avalon and Stone something.
I asked for clams one time.
Stone
We don't
Harbor.
have-
Stone Harbor.
We don't have clams. We have,
You have to wear a collared
yeah,
shirt.
college shirt. Go fuck yourself.
My
This
ass.
is the beach, you know.
The worst place I ever went to is called the Dead Dog Saloon. You had to wear a collared shirt. You're down the fucking shore and it's empty. You don't have any customers or nobody has a collared shirt in this fucking town. Fucking boring.
Now, Tom, let me ask you something. What year did you shoot the Rodney special?
87. And Joe, it was instant success in the sense that so many people, you know, like The Sopranos, and people were talking about it, and it was that popular on HBO. That's what Rodney was then. Like it was instantaneous celebrity status to a point. You know, I mean, it's
No
not,
Twitter, no Facebook.
no Twitter, no Facebook.
Straight up
but
stand up.
everybody watched it. You know, HBO. It was like now, and which is interesting because we've taken with things like what Joe Rogan's done, and Mark Maron, and what's the kid's name who the Italian guy Carolla, Adam Carolla. He's they're all terrific, but we've taken the power away from networks in a lot of ways. Not intentionally, but because these shows are so popular. We don't need to go on late night shows and kiss Jay Leno's ass. You know, it's like not that I would want to anyway.
You know, Tom, for a guy like me, it's been perfect. I had a #1 CD on iTunes this year.
That's great.
From the podcast,
Wow.
which I taped myself for $30, and I sold for $5 without nobody's fucking help because nobody would give me a CD
Isn't that
deal
great?
anyway.
I love hearing
It
stories
was
like that.
#1 for fucking 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, everybody was
Wow.
blown the fuck away. I had an idea years ago when I first got
Can I get
here.
one for $250, Joe?
Absolutely,
Because we're friends.
for your family. I had an idea, Tom, and I was telling this to Doug Benson at the last UFC. I said, Doug, when I got here, when I got here, Wheels used to always say to me, go to acting class because Dom Irrera is going to get a show called Dom's Pizza, and I was in the back of my mind.
was Mitzi's idea.
This is tremendous.
Dom's Pizzeria.
Dom's Pizzeria. So go to acting class and get ready. And it's so weird. You know what the beauty of today is? That if you did pitch that show 10 years ago, I don't know what your business was, you know what, Dom? We could do it today. I had an idea 12 years ago. Remember the vagina monologues? Vagina monologues was everywhere. Guys like us were pissed. We were trying to get a pussy. They go do the vagina monologue.
Oh,
you
yeah,
did
yeah.
You did a vagina monologue, you got a deal and a TV show right there at the Coronet Theater.
Well, but the thing is, we have one of the advantages of being a comedian is like women, right? Like women actresses, they hit fucking 40. They're done. Talented, wonderful actresses. You know what I mean? Nobody goes. Nobody went to Rodney Dangerfield. You know, you're too old to be that funny. Sorry, if you're funny, it breaks. They might have a look at you when you first come on stage, like say some of these UCLA kids. But if you're funny, you know that now. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you look like. You could look like a fucking troll. I mean, it helps to get shows like Tosh and some of these kids are really good looking and. I mean, Daniel's very talented too, but I'm just saying, like, sometimes looks does help. But now we are so we could fucking do stand up until we get like.
There's a lot of ugly motherfuckers on TV too, that ain't fucking funny. There's a lot of ugly motherfuckers on
like
YouTube
who?
too. Why name names?
Name because
they
that's what a
fucking
podcast.
know.
That's
they
why these
fucking
people.
know if
That's why
they're
these
ugly.
people look in to hear names.
But
I want to hear fucking names.
The
Joey.
best thing about today, Dom, that you and I have the world by the balls is, like I told you, 10 years ago I had this idea. It called Testicle Testaments. And I got Andrew and I got Joe to do it. And it was about what made you become a man. Whatever. Whether it was seeing your dad pass away or something. It always switches. And you know what?
I always wish my dad would pass away. He's still alive. Cocksucker.
How old is your dad?
83.
God bless you, Dom. You don't know how lucky you are.
I'm not lucky. I don't even talk to him.
Really?
Yeah, he's lucky. But it's so funny because he's the only one I wanted to die, and everybody else died.
Where's he live?
North Carolina.
And you don't talk to him at all?
No.
How
I mean,
long?
I don't want him to die now because I love my brothers and sisters
Right,
too
right.
much, and they're her half brother, half sister. I don't want him to die because I kind of made peace with it, and I don't want to hurt them. But him, I'd like to beat him to death. Anyway, please, let's go on with the comedy.
No, I'm just saying that now you could. I took those also. I go to the Ice House, I do stories, and I put those on iTunes, which means that any idea you have now as a comedian, performer, you don't need anybody. Just do it. It don't
that
cost you
great?
nothing. Don't cost you nothing. If it fails, it fails.
Yeah, but you lost nothing.
That's it. You
didn't
lost
put your
nothing.
life savings in your house up.
No. How many movies have you done of projects that people come in, we remortgage the house? Are you fucking kidding me? So this is the good opportunity that guys like me have. Like I said, I'm a Cuban with a Jewish cup. I don't give a fuck. I got nothing to lose. It cost me $10.
What do you mean Jewish cup?
You got a Jewish fucking mentality. You know what I'm saying? I want to stab somebody when I wake up every fucking morning.
Jews don't do that. They
Somebody's
sue 'em.
got to pay for you
They
waking
sue.
up. They sue too. Remember that first time I heard that joke, I nearly died. When don't touch me, I'm on disability. Fucking 3 Catholics sitting there with a rabbi.
I don't know that.
They're sitting in Central Park, and Jesus comes up and like, Jesus, heal me. And the fucking cardinal's like, I have cancer. And Jesus, no, you're healed. And he looks at the priest and he goes, what's wrong with you? And he goes, I got a corn in my foot. You're healed. He looks at the rabbi. The rabbi goes, don't touch me. I'm on disability. Fucking jokes. But.
Remember that lounge comedian I used to do?
Which one?
It's just
Yes.
dig on it. I got to bring it back because I love some of these jokes. And I was laughing. You know how some jokes make you laugh before you say the punchline? 2 Irish women at the supermarket. One picks up an Idaho potato. She goes, this reminds me of your husband's testicles. You know this one?
Yeah.
And the other one, because they're big like that. She goes, no, because they're dirty like that. Always fucking makes me laugh. They're dirty. I just picture like brown fucking sooty testicles. Is that bad? Does that make me gay?
Fuck no. He's got a wide sense of toi.
So Joe, it must be so cool for you with the getting recognized now and stuff. And I see, like the transition. I mean, it's cool that you told me that because I never knew that you were happy then. But my feeling is too. Like when I thought they ask you, well, I hope you make it. I'm thinking, fuck, I made it when I didn't have to work anymore. Doing stand up? Are you kidding?
Are you fucking
Everything
kidding
in
me?
here I bought with a joke.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, how lucky are we? Say what you want to say. We're in the major leagues, no matter what happens. We're a fucking toenail away
Well, we're on this
from
stage.
snapping. Yeah, I mean,
Michael Richards stage where he.
that's right.
Where
That's right. Right
he
here, where he was
disgraced
fucking
comedy.
bananas. I mean, that for me, I knew that all along, and I always had a belief that maybe I get put on a show that I want to be a star. Fuck no. I just really wanted to have security and get a pension. And
But how did you learn how to organize it? Like, how did you go from being a funny, wise guy to, because this is, I always think, that's why, like, when people go, my cousin, he should be a stand-up. I go, no, he shouldn't.
No, he shouldn't.
He's funny at the fucking table when he makes an esoteric reference to your aunt's ass or something. But it ain't the whole.
It's different up
It's
here
different, yeah.
with 200 eyeballs looking at you. Dom, it took me 20 fucking years.
But
20 fucking years to
But how did
figure
you
out.
learn? Did you gradually learned it from hanging around the club? Did you work at the Comedy Store in another
Yes.
capacity?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I came out here after doing comedy 7 years. I never thought I was coming out here. My goal
Where
was
did you start?
Boulder, Denver.
Well, how the fuck did you get to Boulder?
I went to college in Boulder. That's
You
where
went to college?
That's where I got pinched.
kidding.
Yeah, that's why I got pinched in Boulder.
You got pinched while you were in college?
Yeah, I got busted my junior year. And here's the funny thing. I was studying to be an attorney, so I was trying to be a history major. Once I got busted for that, I switched my major to economics because I thought I was going to go to the city and fucking be a stockbroker, but I didn't want to do that.
I can't see you with a briefcase.
Going into the city
my
every day with a
God.
fucking thing, and that's what all my buddies
Strap
are doing.
hanging.
But it's funny, when I got locked up, I realized that I was funny, making fun of people in the kitchen. They would, on Thursdays, they'd have like a projector night to watch movies. The projector would always fucking break. So the black guys would, yo, Cuba, go up there. And I would yell at the fucking black guys. Look at this motherfucker with his nappy head and his whatever.
They
Look at
called
this
you
white
Cuba?
motherfucker. Yeah, Cuba.
Now, did you get in a lot of fights there?
No. I had to like 1 or 2 fights.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't, at that time I was young, I was big, I didn't really bother nobody, I got along with people. In fact, there was an old Italian guy there that had done like 30 years for like extortion, and he had like this weird numbers business, like not numbers, but sports betting, the boxes.
Yeah, yeah.
People do the boxes, and he came to me
Sure.
and he goes, listen, man, I've been watching you. He goes, you talk to everybody. He goes, a lot of people just talk to the black guys. You talk to the black guys, the Mexicans, the whites, the Italians. He goes, partner up with me on these cards. So he went from doing 1 card a week to doing like 8 with me. He loved me. So then this motherfucker would cook. He was an old Sicilian. And this guy would cook for me with a fucking iron. You know the irons that you iron?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
took the guts out. And he would make a sauce with a fucking iron metal thing.
Jeez.
It would take him 22 fucking hours.
Yeah.
He'd get the tomatoes, the garlic, the whole
Where'd
thing.
you get them? Where do you shop?
Well, there
in
was a
prison?
store. There was a store, and each day I was in charge of the kitchen, so I was allowed to go out and get
you were allowed
stuff
to
for
go
20
out?
minutes. Yeah,
So they trusted you enough. You were on.
yeah. I had a driver's license, and I drove the guys around. I was in charge of the kitchen at Camp George West in Colorado.
Now, did you ever have any intense sexual things with any guy coming on to you?
No. But my
Well, we hear
girl-
this about prison. I don't
No,
know.
my girlfriend at the time, I set it up so my visits were Monday and Tuesday, so I could still get my dick sucked because there's nobody in the visitation room.
Now, can you have sex with her? Or she
Fuck yeah. And I would meet her out and have sex with her too.
really?
Fuck
oh,
yeah.
When you went for a drive?
Yeah, I would say, meet me at the corner of the Laugh Factory. And I'd get in that fucking parking lot and tear that ass up and eat that monkey and get back and go right back to the prison.
Eat that monkey.
Oh, fuck yeah, with the monkey still on my breath. I don't give a fuck. There was no Tic Tacs then. You had the Banaka Blast. We weren't allowed to carry those then.
That's fucking hilarious. That's interesting, man. So what did you get pinched for?
Kidnapping,
Music
aggravated
pinch
robbery, that time. And that time
Kidnapping.
I
What a
did
cool
4
thing.
years.
I don't know any kidnapping.
Yeah, but you don't kidnapping is not Dom Irrera. Yeah, I got Joe Rogan. Give me $50,000. That's not kidnapping. Kidnapping is if I come in here and I go, Dom, where's the coke? And you go, it's in the other room. If I put a gun in you and I take you to another room, another dwelling,
That's kidnapping.
that's kidnapping against your own will.
right.
So I didn't know that
So
either.
any movement
Any lateral movement into
but what if
another
I
room.
just point a gun to me here and say where is it?
Where is it? I
That's
don't know.
just,
It's just aggravated robbery,
Right.
I guess. You got to watch Law and Order to
Well,
stay
you
on top of that.
should have finished law school. You can answer these questions.
No, I know.
Then you wouldn't be so fucking happy. You'd be a miserable lawyer chasing
wish.
ambulances.
For years I've thought about going back now, just for the fact of getting the degree in law. I've been thinking about it. Believe it or not.
I don't know. I never think of. I mean, like the thing is, it cracked me up. Like when Michael Jordan went back to get his degree. Like, ooh, that's really gonna fucking help him. Now you're gonna be a success. Give this sheepskin. Like, what the fuck did a degree do for me? Teach me how to sing as the rabbi and Fiddler on the Roof. I mean,
Just something for your own self.
If it makes you feel good.
Yeah,
but
like I was telling you last week, I forgot all about history. I'm embarrassed that if you said to me, Joey, talk to me about World War II. I'm like, no,
But you seem to know a lot about history.
No, I don't. I forgot all about it.
Really?
I'm ashamed, Dom Irrera. Ashamed.
Don't be ashamed of that. You got
How
so
the
many other things to be ashamed of.
No, I don't. That's a shame. That's a shame when you don't know the history of this fucking country, this is what I love doing. I love reading books and stuff. So forget about reading books. That ADD has sunk in.
Yeah.
I got to go and have
You
somebody
can listen to
explain
them
it
now.
and
You can listen to
listen,
them
and
on
I'll
a
take
plane.
notes and the whole fucking thing.
No, how did you get out of Cuba?
You know, I was 3. I don't know how the fuck my mom got out of there, to be honest with you. My mom was a real renegade. My last name is Diaz, but I'm a Valdez. That's my mother's side. And those are the ones I grew up around. It's so weird that now I got everything from the Valdezes. When my mother was 16, she had a 14-year-old sister that went out to a party, and somebody tried to rape the sister, so my mother stabbed the dude. So my mother, they pushed her out, and they made her go to New York. This is the 50s. My mother was in New York in the 50s. My dad was the first Cuban committee man in Union City, New Jersey in 1956.
Wow.
My parents were in the United States way before Castro had taken over.
So when Batista was in
when
power,
Batista was that, who wasn't any better. That's what these
well, that's-
fucking people don't know, that Batista wasn't any better. I grew up with Martin Perez, who was Batista's driver, his father. And I went to school with Martin Perez till the 7th grade. And one day in the 7th grade, Witzek came in and pulled him out of the fucking classroom.
Who's that?
Witzek is witness relocation. They were going to fucking kill him because they were Batista's driver. All those people were getting addresses to kill this
This
kid.
was in the United States?
This is the United States.
okay.
And now he lives in Miami. The father died. He's contacted me on Facebook. The kid. We were friends in the 7th grade. That's how much the Batista regime was hated.
Well, did you ever see the movie Bananas? Woody
Allen, yes.
Okay, that was based on that. That was based on Batista and Castro. And the funniest joke was at the end, the rebels became more dictators than the dictator.
Right.
And then he became this. He said, today, all the children 16 years and under are now 16. The official language of San Marcos is Swedish. Everybody will wear 2 pair of underwear, one on the outside. Like, they're just ridiculous fucking things to the dictator. But I didn't know if you ever saw that movie.
I did a long time ago.
It's funny.
It's funny as shit.
But
I just see Sleeper the other day. That was really good.
What was Sleeper?
Sleeper.
Oh, it's fucking great.
Fucking
Your guys
great.
were trying.
Oh my God, Woody Allen inspired me
Fucking
and the youth
brilliant.
so much. I love it.
Yeah.
You know which one is really good that I like? That kills me. That Bullets Over Broadway.
Yeah.
With Chaz Palminteri.
Yeah.
Is that
Chaz
the
is
one?
funny.
Oh my God, when he's an author and he's writing the script and he's telling this kid all this shit.
Yeah.
That is one of the funniest fucking movies.
As a comedian, have you seen Danny Rose?
Broadway Danny Rose,
Yeah.
yes, a while ago.
That's fucking
Yeah, it's
great.
great time to see it again.
Also, you can see it in 2 ways. You see it as a fan and as a comedian. It's very funny. I got a story. The best, how comedians, I don't know why they do that. This is the funniest thing you'll ever hear. I'm thinking, fucking don't put that much pressure on it. Let me be the judge of it, Like, why is it, now it's going to be a letdown?
It's so funny how Woody Allen's kind of taboo now. Like I heard people mention, people make little jokes about
Women are more angry
women are
than
angry.
men.
Me, I know, it's so weird, Don, because it's hard to explain this to people. I appreciate a lot more comics than other people did because to me they taught me how to speak English. Dick Van Dyke, if he takes his dick out, I'll suck it. I did a movie with Dick Van Dyke,
It's good to know.
and I couldn't look at
In a
him.
pinch.
He taught me how to speak English.
Really?
I
That's
watched
it?
that show every fucking day and learned how to speak English. So when I watched, was it something I said by Richard Pryor? It was more than a comedy album. It taught me
Yeah.
how to speak English. Fuck and cock and cunt and you understand me?
That's
So
part of English, yeah.
all those, when I first seen those Woody Allen movies in Jersey City with my buddies, while they were giggling, I was giggling, but I was giggling more because
learning?
I was learning, man.
I don't mean to be pedantic or didactic.
Yeah, all
What a
that
great
shit.
vocabulary he had.
All what and that's oh my God, Jackie Gleason. The other night I was watching Jackie Gleason,
Fucking brilliant.
and I'm sitting there watching Mambo. Alice is teaching you to do the Mambo. Oh, Alice is
Yeah,
teaching you
yeah,
to do it. The guy's name is Mr. Manicotti.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
let's just start with that.
Could you get more Italian?
Yeah,
Talk about a mockery of
yeah.
Italians.
What name?
Tony
can we give him?
Ravioli.
Yeah, Mr. Manicotti. Whatever. Instead, they didn't even call him that. They call him Mr. Manicotti.
Right.
My wife is. I don't know. She make a dinner. She go like this or like that. All the dishes go off the table, and I'm looking at this and I'm going. This was written by 2 guys. There was 2 writers on The Honeymooners and Jackie.
Really?
And Jackie would watch them.
I never knew about the staff on that.
2 people. And the rest was just pure brilliance. He didn't like rehearsing. You know, the motherfucker didn't like rehearsal. He didn't like nothing. I'm watching this, and I'm laughing, and I'm not crying because how funny it is. I'm crying because this is my life. This is who I am today.
Yeah.
When I go on stage, this is who I'm emulating. The Odd Couple. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
When these fucking momos come up to me and say, "Oh my God, I see the scary movie," bitch, I grew up in the motherfucking Twilight Zone, and I'm not following it. I'm also trying to decipher what the fuck they're saying. The other night it was with Mickey. You ever see the episode with fucking Mickey?
Twilight Zone?
Yeah, they have so
Mickey
many.
Rooney?
Mickey from the Rocky. The fucking
He Burgess Meredith.
Burgess Meredith.
Yeah, I saw that.
You see, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the one where he pulls the door off.
Yes, I mean
he has inhuman strength. That one.
No, wasn't
Okay,
it
the one where the nuclear holocaust came,
the nuclear holocaust?
and he had all he wanted to do was read, and he
had the books.
and the world ended, and he was there at the library, and he stepped on his glasses.
That's
Fucking
right.
what a nightmare!
Fucking,
Oh no, you know.
fucking nightmare.
Heavy.
That's what we grew up on. So
Yeah.
that's why people say to me now, "Did you see this movie? Go fuck your mother."
Did you ever see the Midnight Sun? That's a great Twilight Zone.
Break it down. Oh, but yeah,
You know, you talk about how fragile we are in this environment, in this universe. It starts out with everybody's really hot, and the sun, the Earth falls out of its elliptical orbit, and every day it's moving close to the sun. So people are moving to Canada, like that's going to help, and you know they have hardly any water left, and the electricity's off, and finally they get to a point where the paint starts melting on the paintings. It's so fucking hot, right? Then the girl wakes up, and it's just the opposite. The Earth is moving away from the sun, and every day it gets colder. You know what I mean? So it just shows you how we live in that little safe zone and how fragile it is. You know, because, you know, like it's frightening because we try not to think of it. How do we control? We can't control anything.
Nothing.
If the Earth falls out of orbit, what are we going to do? Call the cops?
Yeah, that's it.
You know.
We go home and press that. I also watched the one with Sebastian Cabot.
They had great actors
when
on
he played the devil.
Oh, yeah.
You ever
He
see
was
that
fucking
one?
scary.
Fucking scary as shit.
He was the cheery butler on that show.
Right. Oh, Family Affair. Another
Yeah.
one. That was that Buffy and Jody.
Muffy.
Buffy. Buffy and that was another show. That and the courtship of Eddie's father.
I never saw that.
They don't even make shows like that no more. At the end, he would always ask, "Dad, what happened today?" "Oh, I fucked the Asian woman." All right.
Some of them hold up for me completely. You know, I mean, the old Mary Tyler Moore's hold up, and like now I watch like Seinfeld. There's still episodes I haven't seen. I fucking love that show.
Love it. The ones with you on it, I love those. I still watch. What else did I watch the other night that fucking had me dying? Another show that tears come out of my eyes is The Odd Couple.
The
Tears
TV
come out-
show or the movie?
Both, but the
Yeah.
movie, the TV show more. The tears come out of because as I'm watching it, the lines are coming back to me. And I remember being a kid on the phone, on my phone in my room, and on my mother's phone, talking to Sabatino on
Yeah.
one end, and Dominic Speciale on the other. Going, "Did you hear what Jackie Gleason said? Oh my God, unfucking believable. Holy fuck," you know, doing that all fucking night long.
are a blabbermouth.
You are. I'll give you 3 minutes.
Ding.
Oh, that's crap. When he hits the
great.
fucking thing and he
Yeah.
goes 3 minutes. The one last week
But
was
the mother was so good. You got.
Oh.
She had to be antagonize him so much, that you just felt it.
what
build.
is that? Your lunchbox? That's the one when he comes home with the big thing.
Yeah, right.
Last week it was which is one of the greatest episodes of television history, when Norton invests $20 in his corporation. Ralph inherits $30 million, and it's called The Fortune. And the guy comes over, oh my God, and Norton comes down and he goes, "Well, now we're partners. We're going to inherit the fortune." And he comes with a briefcase. And he goes, "What's the briefcase for, Norton?" And he goes, "I think we're going to carry home the 30 mil. And he goes, "Why don't you go upstairs, cut 30 million sheets and see if it even fits in there?" Norton picks up the briefcase, opens it up, and he goes, "The small details." The whole way he's breaking his balls. They get to the place to read the will. There's a statue of Venus de Milo. He goes, "Look, he had a rotten barber." They sit down. They keep talking about the fortune. The fortune turns out to be a fucking bird. It is the most brilliant written
remember that
episode
one.
I've ever seen. Go get the fortune. and also they
Yeah,
come back with
I'm actually TiVo, and Gleason's on again on some
Monday
on Channel
nights only.
on
Channel 20.
20.
They
Yeah.
screwed us because it was on every night, but then they realized they only had 20 episodes.
Yeah, yeah.
So they put them down to Monday. So this Monday was the string of Peloponnese when she becomes an actress.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't want to see that one with the glove and
Companies.
shit.
And yeah, I love that one.
The best one is when they get stuck on the train.
That Swanee River.
Oh, $50,000 question. That was on a couple of weeks ago, too. I got them on DVD. All I got to do is go in. I ordered them off some fucking thing there. They got all those old shows, Rat Patrol, The Green Hornet. They send you the catalog once a month.
Joe, what do you got coming up for live appearances? Anything?
Live appearances, I have. I do the Testicle Testaments the last Wednesday of the month at the Ice House. I have Rick Bronson's House of Comedy September 13th through the 15th. And I also have the Baltimore Comedy Factory September 27th to the 29th.
This show will be up by then.
How about you, Tarzan?
I'm
Where are you
going
next week?
Casbah in Wildwood, New Jersey.
Really?
This show probably won't be up by then, but I'm also doing. I got a cool gig coming up in Australia. I'm doing the Opera House. Right, where I belong, of course, with my act. We're doing like nasty shows, and then we're doing like a gala, a big time show on the big stage. That's gonna be cool. The Opera House is one of those. It's like Carnegie Hall. It's like one of those famous buildings in the world. But everybody knows what it looks like when they see Australia. They show that that kind of weird.
Yes,
roof.
it's like a St. Louis type thing. It's like, but at a
Yeah,
different
yeah.
type of angle.
Yeah.
Dom, how does it feel to be one of the great ones in comedy? Like, how does it? I know you don't think about
I
this.
have
You're
no
not an
idea.
egotistical guy. No, Dom, you really have to think that way. As far as monologist, and I talk to Joe a lot. Me and Joe, believe it or not, are students of the game. I watch every stand-up at night and cheer for him, because I know if I cheer for him, I'm cheering for me. And when I get disappointed after 4 minutes, my stomach gets crinkled up because I got all ready for Dom, and Dom went somewhere the fuck else, But Joe said he was watching you a couple weeks ago. I missed you the other night. I was fucking sitting there doing the podcast talking about war and whatever.
Oh,
they
you
were
got.
talking about.
Were you weren't there the night the girl was there though, and she wouldn't shut up. Forget who she was.
Sarah Tiana. No,
Yeah.
Sarah was great. Sarah was great. You guys.
Yeah, but she wouldn't stop talking. Nobody could get a word in.
Well, you had fucking intriguing topics. That's what happens when you have intriguing topics.
I wanted to hear more stories from you, and she didn't.
I mean, you can't.
I shouldn't put her down. I don't mean to hurt her.
But
feelings.
how does it feel, Dom, to know that you're one of the guys? I mean, listen, I tell people, when people come to me, new comics, and they say to me, Joey, I want to try comedy. What should I do? The first thing I say to them is, go get the Rodney Dangerfield set special and watch it till your eyeballs fall.
Tu pinche love, tu capesqua, tu rosamla.
All that stuff. Between you and Bill Hicks, I love both of your sets. I mean, as far as sets, monology sets, you and Bill Hicks on that special.
Hicks was great.
Are fucking brilliant. You're brilliant on that. And I still got it. I don't have the original. There was a place in Boulder. I rented it so much that one day they said, just give us $5 and come get it whenever you want it. Because I would rent it for a week, make notes, give it back, and learn. I wasn't doing your jokes. I was learning the timing.
Yeah.
You're learning all
We all
this
have
stuff.
to learn from somebody, yeah.
So, I mean, that to me is like the greatest honor. No matter what happened after that, you got to do something with Rodney. How did that feel, man? At the time, it was 87.
I didn't realize it at the time because it was, sometimes when you're in it, like if I'm driving down the Atlantic City Expressway and I see a billboard of one of my best friends, I go, holy shit, Billy Levin's on the fucking billboard. But if it's me, I think, well, how big a deal could it be if it's me? You know what I mean? It's like the Groucho Marx thing. I wouldn't want to be a member of any club that would have me. I don't feel. I mean, my thing about stand-up is I don't know. I mean, I don't think like that about what level I'm at. All I know is basketball helped me in the sense that, not that I was such a great player. I was good for a comedian, but I was like, you knew that if you weren't practicing, somebody else was out there practicing. And that's why I'm in the club so much, because I just figure I want to get as good as I can. I don't want to limit myself because of age or any accomplishments or money. I love doing stand-up. And, we were talking about, I guess Rogan and I were talking about how boring fucking movies are. I'm not saying if somebody offered me a movie, I wouldn't go, yeah, thank you. But I hate
They
fucking
do
doing
suck.
this.
They do suck.
I hate doing TV.
They do suck. They do suck.
I don't like people telling me what to say. Look, we could do whatever the fuck we want. You know, tonight I'm going on stage. I could talk about our conversation. I could talk. As long as you make it funny, it doesn't matter. And I love that. I love that freedom.
You know, when I first came here, I thought movies and TV. And you know what? After you do everything, one day it's like, now I tell my agents, you know what, dog, don't bother.
Yeah.
If it's not something that I really want to do, I'm having such a great time
Yeah,
doing
look
podcasts.
at this. We went
and the
from one
freedom.
subject to another. We talked about what we wanted. Nobody told us what to say. We didn't have to go through a segment producer. Well, can he ask me about renting cars? Because I have a lot on that. And then could he ask me
How
about...
fucking pathetic is
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Tom, while we're at
So
it, because I never
contrived.
knew. See, this is why I like podcasts. I love podcasts because when I listen to them, I get to learn something about you. You said you're a hoopster. You know I went to Glassboro State.
No.
Before it was fucking Horan, whatever they changed it into. And I was a hoopster. I went down there because...
No kidding.
Fuck, my team was the Sixers. I went all the way with Glenn Mosley to Temple. I love all that shit. I
So
mean,
you, with the Sixers in what years?
I liked the Sixers right after they got, a year before they got Julius Erving. Lloyd Free,
76.
Doug Collins. If I see Doug Collins today, I would probably suck his dick. James Coburn.
You don't have to do that.
Doug
Joe.
Collins, when
It's
he
a
was
nice
number
gesture,
20.
but they don't expect that.
To this day, I just seen Tommy Heinsohn. I bumped into Tommy Heinsohn.
He's fucking huge, ain't he?
He's from the same
Looks like a wall.
grammar school I went
Is he
to.
really?
First time I seen him in Boston with Joe. I go, Mr. Heinsohn, we started dropping names. He couldn't believe I knew the same people. I mean, my heart is basketball. I didn't know you were a basketball
Oh,
guy.
yeah. I love it.
And did you grow up a Sixer fan?
I grew up a Sixer fan, yeah, and I always rooted for the Lakers because the Celtics, we couldn't beat them. You know, we finally beat them in '83. We beat them a couple times. We beat them in '67, and we beat them in '83. You know, and there might have been a couple, but they were great. And it was an interesting thing about life and how hate can be dissipated by actually meeting people. I hated the Celtics. I hated Boston. I fucking hated Boston. Fuck Boston, the white trash motherfuckers, right? This is the way I felt. And I go to Boston, and I'm meeting these guys, and all the fuck comedians are great to me. I'm thinking, who did I hate? What was I hating? You know what I mean? It gives you like a different perspective. Then I'm on the floor when Magic made that junior hook shot, and I'm on the floor at Nick's Comedy Club, and everybody's all upset, and I'm going, yeah, but I couldn't do it. And then I just learned I learned a lesson in life about that, because now I love Boston. Nobody treats me better than the Boston comedians. I think they're some of the best comedians we have, and it's a whole different thing. And it made me grow as a person, not to be so fucking narrow-minded. And who did I'm thinking, I hated them because they're just like we are. They're rabid fans. They're fucking crazy. They fight. But I mean, it just taught me about life.
I grew up going to the Garden. I remember going to the Garden 3 years in a row to see the Sixers play the Knicks Christmas Day.
Oh,
I used to go. And then when I went to
tell me
Glassboro,
what teams that was.
that was Joe Bryant off. It was
Jelly Bean.
it was Bibby and Collins with Lloyd Free off the bench.
Oh, they had McGinnis too.
They had McGinnis and Irving. This was way before Collins came.
Oh, that was
And the
77.
center, who I told the story about last night,
Dawkins.
about snorting the blow on top of the refrigerator.
Oh, really?
I used to go to his house and sell
Are
him
you
blow.
serious?
Oh, please. I knew that. In fact, Daryl Dawkins was at Universal. I told a kid that listens to the podcast, he went up there, told Dawkins. Dawkins still fucking remembered me. He goes, tell him I still remember those crazy. Because they played years later, he played for the Nets.
Yeah.
So I grew up right there. I grew up in North Bergen.
He was an untapped talent. If he was a serious kid,
He
could have been.
I still remember when they played the Portland Trail Blazers, when Julius Erving slam dunked so bad on Bill Walton that Bill Walton
He
tried to
was
call
up
an
like
offensive foul.
He was up like this over the
my
rim.
God.
It was
My God!
one of the
Let me tell you
greatest dunks
something.
I've ever seen.
I am a huge Julius Erving. I used to go to the Converse clinics. Hey, Dr. J, where'd you get those moves? Are you wearing fancy shoes?
Right.
I was a Sixer fan. I remember when Moses played for Houston, okay, and the Nets went from Long Island to Jersey. The Nets used to play up Piscataway.
Yeah.
We used to have to take a bus from North Bergen to Port Authority back to Piscataway. And I took a bus. Me, Chucky McBreen, and Anthony Sabatino took a bus to see Moses. And that's why people always love Shaq. I had no love for Shaq because I didn't get it. I came from a society where Moses used to score 29 points and 22 rebounds a game.
He helped Barkley with his
Oh
rebound.
my God!
Yeah.
And he also helped Akeem the Dream. He made nobody was as good.
Moses was one of the most underrated players ever. He owned Jabbar. He owned him. He just couldn't do it. And I think Kareem was great. And I think he's underplayed too much when they talk about the greats. But I saw a thing about Wilt on the NBA channel last night. Did you see it?
No.
It said Wilt's 100. And I know Michael Jordan was great, but like John Sally was on this one talk show, and they were going, and he was saying, it's not that easy to just give him the greatest player. He says, "But you think he was better than Julius Erving?" And they go, "Oh yeah." They go, "Hey," John goes, "Can I leave now? He was better than Julius at his peak." It's like there's arguments there. People act like there's no argument. Magic was so great, but nobody could compare to Chamberlain statistically. He averaged. Listen, Jordan in his whole career had 45 games, 50 or over. In 61, 62, Chamberlain had more that year than Jordan had in his career. He averaged 50 points a game. Sonny Hill, one of those old Philly players, he was on. He goes, "Do you realize when he had 44 points, he had a bad game?" He was talking about. Then he'd come back and score 70 the next game. He was fine. They changed the rules to hurt his game. Whereas on Jordan, they had the Jordan rules and the whole thing. They changed him to help him, which, he was a marquee player and he was a great sell. But, like, all the hand checking was stopped. All the shit that when Detroit and New York tried to beat the shit out of him, they mugged him. I mean, they literally mugged him, but they changed the rules to help him.
It's crazy because I remember all those battles between the Celtics and the Sixers, and I got to tell you, I loved Havlicek.
Yeah.
I loved John Havlicek from day one. I loved Dave Cowens. That was a 6'9" white guy. That was a center.
We had Kevin Love in here the other night.
You guys better check yourself. This motherfucker was
That's amazing.
6'9", a white guy. And you remember the strike that one year?
Yeah,
you remember what he went and did?
No.
He drove a cab.
Did he really?
And whenever he
How
was
funny is that?
He
Dave
was great.
Cowens
Dave
thing.
Cowens was I still remember there was another player that I seen emerge that I think to me was one of the greatest players I ever seen. His name was Bernard King. I never seen anything like that.
I never seen anything like that one game he had.
Against the Celtics.
Yeah.
In New York. He had two games. Yeah, he had two
when
games
he just
in 1
kept
week.
turning around and they couldn't do anything with
And
him.
I'll tell you, I don't know if people remember, he ate up Michael Jordan his rookie season. He put a spin move on Michael Jordan.
He was unstoppable.
Bernard King broke my friend's nose playing 3-on-3 basketball at 2 in the morning because in Jersey it's so hot. We would go out late at night in the 8th grade, sleep over. You tell her we're sleeping at Dom's. You tell her we're sleeping at Anthony's. And we'd all go to Hudson County Park, and about 2, Bernard King would walk up, and we'd just watch him play. That's how much I love basketball.
Yeah.
And then we'd go up to him, "Can we play, sir?" And he'd play, and he kept teaching us how to do a spin move. And one night he turned and he broke my buddy's nose, Brian Smythe. He ended up driving us to the hospital, got his nose fixed, and took us to breakfast. You know how I was. I couldn't even say a word. I remember not washing my hands. How big his hands were, like shaking my hand. They were like
I know. I'm shaking hands like that.
Yeah, it was just.
Julius has his hand.
Oh, yeah.
He's supposed to be able to palm a record album.
Yeah, he's a bad motherfucker, Julius Erving. You don't know how many games of his I went to see. There was a.
Did you see him with the Nets? Did you see him play for the Nets?
That was something else.
He was better than
Billy
right?
Pulse. Yeah, but the Nets was Puerto Ricans on heat.
Yeah.
That was just go. That was built for him. The ABA was built for Julius Erving. There was no defense. It was fast break. He was in the
He
heat.
was smart though because he compromised his game, like people say about Kobe with Nash coming in. They say, "Will he be able to play with him?" We'll see. But Irving, when he got Moses Malone, he knew this was the meal ticket. There was that was the bonus of bonuses to get a player like him. And he adjusted his game a little,
And Bobby Jones. Bobby Jones on the other side. Now he didn't have to run around.
Yeah.
He was awesome. They had Doug Collins who drove his fucking, that was my idol. That shooting guard position, running around constantly.
Yeah, Doug Collins
6'6".
was so great.
Who the fuck are you kidding,
Tony was great.
Oh, Bernard Tony could shoot the ball at
Andrew.
fucking night. Andrew Tony. And they had another guy, Bernard something there.
They had
Andrew
Cheeks
Tony.
and Tony were the starting guards. Not Melchione, another white guy was a power forward. Bobby Jones came in off the bench, and it was Moses and Irving. And who was the white guy that played? Because he constantly they would call fouls on him if he was on the bench.
Steve something.
Steve Mix was another.
Steve Mix.
He wasn't the starter though.
Oh my God, Steve Mix. I still remember. This is the game. This is my greatest Sixers story because if you go online If you go on YouTube, they have the greatest Julius Erving dunks, and 6 of them are on the Lakers. Like, he went off
where
on
he
the
goes
fucking
under
Lakers.
and- yeah.
The one, I'm going to tell you one of the greatest stories of all time. I was in Philly that night. When he cribbed the ball, I went to the game.
yeah?
And I'll tell you why I went to the game, because the Sixers were getting 3 points at home. That wasn't going to happen. Even if I didn't have the money, I called it in. That was a Tuesday night. The Sixers were getting 3 points at home.
So who'd you bet?
I bet the Sixers getting wood. Michael Cooper and all those fucking arrogant motherfuckers came into Philly that night when Julius Erving cupped that ball. Just look at it. Just look at it in slow motion.
Yeah,
look at people's faces. They knew right there he was going to win the championship that year. I knew it. They went full.
Yeah.
Then they sweep everybody that year. They swept everybody.
They didn't lose any games?
Not in the
They lost
playoffs.
one to the Bucks. No?
I think they were like 4-4-4 or something. Remember that Moses Malone? The thing, Moses, what people don't remember was that Moses was one of the first players ever to go right from high school to the pros. It was him and a guy named Bill Willoughby.
Bill Willoughby, I know.
From Englewood,
Next
New
stop,
Jersey.
Willoughby.
And then Darryl Dawkins was the third. And how I knew was I got a scholarship to 5-star basketball camp in
What'd you play,
Philadelphia.
Joe?
I played in North Bergen High.
No, but what position?
I was a forward. I could rebound like a motherfucker. And what happened was, this is what really killed me. That and people always say to me, "Well, was it your mother's?" Melchione. People always say, "Was it your mother's debt that flipped you out?" What happened was, 5th grade, I was on an 0-9 8th grade, or like the high school grammar school team. And by the time I got to the 8th grade, the fucking team was 6-2, and we lost the finals. And all of us, like 3 of our players from, we have 8 grammar schools, but they were already saying that I was going to be one of the starters and freshmen, and they would pull me up to varsity by the end of the year. St. Anthony's at the time with the Hurleys was trying to recruit me. That's how good we were in North Bergen. It was me, this
St.
Irish
Anthony's
kid,
had
Wiley
Hurley's
O'Donnell.
father coaching,
Oh, dog,
right?
I used to sleep at their house. I went to Superstar basketball camp in Jersey City.
Bobby Hurley?
Yeah, when Jersey City, the old
He's
man.
a good point guard.
Good for him and his father. I knew those motherfuckers when. Listen, man, in the fucking early 80s, whenever a college team needed a basketball player, they went right to New Jersey. And the biggest goosebumps I ever had, the biggest pride I ever had was seeing Michael Koring from Jersey City start as a motherfucking freshman for the North Carolina Tar Heels.
Oh, yeah.
My heart almost blew up to see.
Yeah.
When they said Jersey City, New Jersey, I thought my head was going to blow up. And I go, you know what? If he could do that, I'm going to fucking do it. He's a fucking Irish kid with bad skin. He's got no father. If he could do it, I could do it. So by the time I got to a freshman, the fucking coach didn't like me. So he benched me. And I'll tell you what, that destroyed me. Till this day, if I look back to see who I'm going to stab on the way out, I always think of that motherfucker. But you know what? He's got his own dilemma. He's got like cancer in his asshole now, so fuck him. He got what he's... But that fucked me up.
You might
After
not
that,
want to go into that karmic
I
area.
quit basketball after that, and it killed me, Dom Irrera. It killed me.
See, I didn't know. I learned all these things
I
about
was
you.
5'11". And listen, by the time I was a junior, I knew I was in no danger. I was quick, but I wasn't fast, so you were done.
Well,
but he killed me. He killed me at that age.
Yeah, I didn't get put in a summer league game, and it changed my life.
It really does.
Because let me just check the time, Joe, because I know you got to, we're good. It hurt my feelings so bad because comedy always came relatively easy to me. Basketball was hard. If I fucking practiced comedy like I practiced basketball, I'd have 5 more minutes clean.
Oh, please. I write blogs a lot. And one of the blogs I wrote was about basketball, how it wasn't, I used to have to take a bus from 88th Street to 39th Street. And that bus ride was my apprenticeship to comedy. Because we get on the bus, and the first thing you do was dun 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 dun, and you start the theme of the odd couple, dun dun dun, and the bus driver would be looking in the mirror at us, and then I go on fucking location. That's what it used to be called, HBO on location, and they used to go, Coco, go, because
Where'd
that's
you get Coco at?
when I was. If you look at my legs, first off, I have no hair, not because I never shaved them, but because I'm lampiño. That's a Cuban term for no fucking hair.
Really?
And
You
the
got
other
a good head of hair? Or?
the other thing, I got tons of hair here and tons of hair in my ass and nutsack, but my legs.
I don't have to know
Look
that.
at my arms. I got nothing. But you see how wide I am? That means
You
cocoa.
make a good swimmer.
Yes, cocoa means the inside of a coconut. So my father gave me that name when I was born because I was so white. That's why all of a sudden when Conan got, I was going to go up there and choke the motherfucker. Because I've had this since day one.
Conan?
Yeah, people started calling him Coco. All these
Conan
fucking
O'Brien?
Republicans, yeah. Started calling him Coco, and they fired him. They were up in Burbank. Please bring Coco back. I'm like, look at this motherfucker. Oh, it's a nice Coco.
Hey, are you going back to Florida at all?
I don't know.
Because I remember working with you, and it was fun at the
Improv in
Improv,
Miami. Yeah. I'd love to go back there. I was just there in April.
I'm going back to the Improv at the Hard Rock the last weekend of September.
Okay.
That's one of the best clubs in the country.
The
Fucking
27th
great
through the
club.
29th that week there.
Yeah. What do you got, a calendar ahead?
I got, I'm one of
you, a
those
savant?
guys. I'm a numbers guy,
Oh,
dog.
yeah.
I'm a numbers guy.
Did you ever hear of a place called Magoobies?
Break it down for me.
Baltimore?
Magoobies. Is it
I'm working
still
at
there?
November. Yeah, I'm working it.
Is it really good?
That's why I asked you where you were working. You
Yeah,
said
I'm
Baltimore.
working the other place. I don't even know what was open.
That's in the city, right? I think mine
I
is in
think
the
so.
suburbs.
Yeah, I think that the one I'm working at is really crazy.
Isn't it
It's real
cool for
active.
you to draw now? Isn't it a dream? You know how fucking hard it is to draw people? They have guys that, because what's his name? Are you with Super Artist?
Yes.
Justin tells me how that you guys, you and Avi, guys like that, are drawing, and he can't get people who are quote older and more famous. He can't get them to sell any tickets. Isn't that fucking cool?
Dom Irrera, when you got here, what was the chemistry, Dom Irrera? Listen, algebra is pretty simple. It's X plus Y equal 9. When I got here, I was pulled aside at the store, and somebody said to me, here's the deal. You get on a fucking sitcom, not the number one thing, you're the garbage man. On Agent or something, on the weekends you go out and you make $5,000. People see you on TV and they love you. That was the equation when I was here in 98. It could have been different in 87 when you got here. Okay, so what did I do? I started getting on TV shows. And I call agents and go, okay, I'm on a TV show. We ready? No. Then they said, you got to do movies. Nobody gives a fuck about TV shows. Got to do fucking movies. So I started sending tapes. I did Denzel movies. I did an Adam Sandler movie. I did Spider-Man. I did every fucking Queen Latifah. If there was a movie, I'd break it down. I'd go home. I'd get a camera. If they said that we want an Italian guy that's 140 pounds, I wouldn't give a fuck, Dom Irrera. I'd get a camera, put the audition on tape, and send it to the producer and tell him why I would be better than the guy they wanted for 140. I'd get the fucking movie. And after 10 of those, you know how many people came to see me? 3. And when they did come, they would leave because they hear me up there talking about eating pussy and mugging faggots and getting my ass kicked. So they'd go like this. Adam Sandler's people, when I'd walk past them, they'd go like this. They wouldn't even want to touch me, Dom Irrera. You know what the feeling is in your heart? You know what you feel like? You know what you feel like because you've drawn. You've been in both realms. And all of a sudden, you go on a podcast with Felicia Michaels, and I start talking about dumb shit about my mother dying and me mugging somebody and a drug dealer. And 2 years ago, I do a show at Sal's, and you know that 90 people showed up? And I said, how did you guys know about this? And they go, from the podcast.
Wow, yeah.
And I go, what? 10, 10, 10. Worst performance of my life. The tape, I had to throw it away. But just the fact that all those people showed up.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, what's the chemistry? We did movies, we did TV, I did short films, I did My Name is Earl, I did everything I could. Nobody shows up.
I know. They don't care. They don't watch the late night show. I told Joe, I was in Galway, and the Kilkenny, and these 20-year-old Irish kids are coming because they heard me on Joe. They saw me on Joe's podcast.
And you know what? Then you go on and we talk the real. Because what we did today was talk real. I didn't know about your basketball career. And you didn't know about my fucking whole thing.
Now we
and
can
you
talk
the real, and people listen, and they go, and they'll come. And then you got to think about when you watch 24/7, and you hate that fucking Yam. What's his name? That fucking black dude that's always on there with the cell phones and the fucking thing. But I can't take my eyes off him. I tell people all the time, there's a fighter called Houston Alexander. Ask Joe Rogan about him. He's the size of that wall. Okay? He's big, he's bald, and he's scary. You know, when you see Houston, you're like, Jesus fucking Christ, what the fuck is this bully, right?
Yeah.
But I seen the thing about him that he had 4 kids, had no wife, and he raises the kid by himself. He's a fighter, so he has to get up at 3:30 in the morning. He trains from 4 to 6. Then from 6, he goes home, feeds the kids, puts them on a bus, goes to work as a UPS driver, comes home, cooks for the kids, puts them in bed, and then at 8 o'clock, he goes back and he trains till 10 o'clock, and he does that 5 nights a week. You know what? That made me fall in love with the guy. So I started understanding why these things work. Because people find out about shit that they don't know. They just see me on stage talking about mugging somebody. Who the fuck is going to like me?
Right.
But when they understand that I saved cats, and when they understand that I was born in Cuba, maybe they find that relationship and now they'll come. You know, we don't get paid for doing this. You know, our payment to me is when they come see me and shake my hand. Like those kids in Kilkenny when they came in.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck? What? What are you talking about? Yes, lad, we came here because Joe Rogan. How is it? Did he make you smoke pot? And you're like, what the fuck just
Tell
happened?
Joe that I started doing martial arts because of him. I said, that's all we need is another drunken Irish kid that can
Oh,
fucking
please.
bang.
They love him. They love him, and they have every right because, listen, and Joe and you and me and a bunch of people, believe it or not, we're helping people go through their stupid shit.
Yeah.
You know, I talk about finding my mother on the fucking floor. Everybody finds somebody on the fucking floor at one time in their life, even if they don't want to.
Yeah.
You got to find an uncle. You know what I'm saying? Somebody,
yeah.
Everybody loses something.
Of course.
You know how
If
many
you live
fucking,
long
you know how many
enough-
fucking emails I get a week from people going, Joey, my mother died and I thought of you. I don't even know this fucking guy in Cincinnati.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a boilermaker in Cincinnati 2 days ago. And he goes, thank you because it eased my pain.
Wow,
Just because you said
that's
that on a
cool.
podcast.
Yeah.
And that, you know what the crazy thing about it, Tom? For 20 years, this is all we've been trying to do. We had to wait. I had to wait 20 years to discover the podcast so people find out about what's really
Yeah.
in my heart.
Well, it's cool. Joe, thanks for being on, man. Love you, brother. Look
Thank you
forward
for
to
having
working
me. You're
with
the
you.
last of the real fucking Italians. I love you, brother.
Thanks. Joey Diaz.
Stay black, cocksuckers.
Thank you. See you next
Mad
time.
Flavor, Twitter.
If she had only